Alright, welcome back to Nick Lenz's Comic Corner Classic / Non-Classics. This is episode number 2167, Doubleshot number 2061. Got two DT trades of two really awesome characters. First up, and then both these ones are kind of fun. Oh, no, the other one's not exactly a finale per se with the other one. He has a few more trades left, but this one, definitely a finale for this trade series, because we have Deathstroke Incorporated, Volume 2, Year 1. Yep, this contains Deathstroke Incorporated issues 10 to 15. I actually spoke to Joshua Williamson about the storyline. Why did he leave at issue 9? Well, here's the thing. This story arc was definitely planned to be happen right after the events of Shadow War. But here's the thing about the storyline. Originally, Joshua Williamson, he said this to me at Comic-Con, he was supposed to do the storyline, not Ed Bronson. The only reason Ed Bronson did it, because Josh Williams was busy doing Dark Crisis. That was some of the reason for it. And mostly proof of this one, it's kind of a new backstory for Deathstroke, kind of, where he's like, they mentioned about the whole thing of being his favorite experiment, like, or apparently he sort of volunteered for it, and he says he doesn't remember it at all. Yeah, apparently his memory's been scrambled a bit when it comes to that, but he remembers his family really well. Oh, by the way, we also have Adeline Kane, who is Slade's, at this point, still married in present days, his ex-wife, his hot ex-wife, mind you, and his son Grant, who in present day is deceased. Yeah, it's like one of these divorced. Now, in this story, basically, it's kind of basically Deathstroke's first few months as, well, Slade Wilson as Deathstroke. And he has an encounter in this book with his first superhero, Green Arrow. Now, you're probably thinking, why the heck would he take on Green Arrow first of all villains? Of all the heroes in the DC Universe, for the start of his first year, why would the first one his hero would take out be Green Arrow? My guess is probably the reason why that he was probably included in here. My theory is because of editorial mandate, because Green Arrow encountered him before he became Green Arrow during events of Arrow, so it's a loose Arrow tie-in. That's simply the reason for it. Also, on the cover, he clearly is wearing his, regular costume. Now here's the thing. That's actually the George Perez costume on the cover. He does not wear that in the book. Nope. He gets a complete different attire, where he wears an orange mask, and also his wife basically is upset with him, so he gets hired to basically kill a scientist, and he's also working with Billy Wintergreen, who actually is here. Billy Wintergreen is actually Slade's version of Alfred. So, we also have a thing in here where Adeline basically gives a pregnancy test. Oh, and here's Slade's first output as Deathstroke. Now, Slade does not tell Green Arrow Renz that he actually is Deathstroke. Now, I'm not sure exactly why he couldn't have put on the other outfit, but this apparently is the first official outfit according to this book. I'm like, I don't mind the orange colors. It's just that, okay, I get the fact this is before he lost his eye. So, and here's, oh, by the way, the artwork is on my Dexter Story, who's a great artist. Here, him drawing Green Arrow, who, by the way, this you might find interesting about Green Arrow. He's got the Valkyrie beard. Yes. And the outfit, I believe this is supposed to be I think this is supposed to be Neil Adams' look that Dexter gave him. It is interesting, though, he gave him this attire. I'm not really sure exactly why. But, hey, it's a comic features Green Arrow. Okay. He actually uses his sword, he uses guns, which is typical Deathstroke. So, he caused some mayhem, and of course, also his mission to kill a scientist, which does succeed. And you probably think, does this lead anywhere? Not really. The book ends at issue 15. But I thought the story was really good. I give this book a 10 out of 10. It was really good. I thoroughly enjoyed it. I kind of wish we could see a little bit more in Deathstroke's early years, because that would be interesting, but, well, probably the reason why they couldn't, and this is, because of Dark Crisis, because what happened to him in Dark Crisis. And I'm like, oh, why in the world would they have a a Deathstroke book going on, even though Deathstroke is not around. You could say, oh, it's basically his early years. I wouldn't mind that at all, because there's a lot to explore exactly what happened with him prior. By the way, at the end of this book, he finds out his wife Adeline is pregnant with a second child. That second child is Joseph, a.k.a. Jericho. Yes, the mute member of the Teen Titans. Yep, this is when he finds out about it. Also, the fact that Grant basically was his father. Now, this, of course, is probably set about a decade before he met the Teen Titans, presumably. Given how old Grant is, he's probably about 8, maybe 9 years old. Though Green Arrow is still around, and basically Grant is no longer like this teenager when he died. So you could say Slade is presumably. Now, this also is before he lost his eye. So he's got both eyes here. But in my personal theory, you could have kept this series going with the year 1 story arc. But no, we actually just wrap it up within 6 issues. And this is one of my biggest problems with the year 1 stuff when it comes to comics. We cannot have a book called Year 1 and it can't last more than 4 or 6 issues. I think the most I've seen was 10 issues. 10. And that was Green Hornet. Comic companies, if you can have a year 1 story arc, how about it last more than 6 issues? If it's called year 1, have it last for 12 full issues. I would love to see it. This left a lot of openings, this one. A lot of openings. But this book was really good. Final thoughts on the entirety of Deathstroke Incorporated. Damn good comic book. Like in the case of Grand Temple Warriors, it's only 3 trades. You have the first trade, this one, and Shadow War. And that's it. Now, I love the opening story, Deathstroke becoming King of Supervillains. Very original idea. Josh Williams himself get a great out of the book. Said out the book, I was curious why he left. I even asked him this. Dark Crisis. That was the reason for it. I kind of wish the series lasted something longer than it did, but it did, sadly. Alright, next up we have is Black Lightning Volume 2. I like the first trade, which collected issues from the original first volume for the series, along with, World's Finest 260, which actually was originally supposed to be issue 12, but was printed as issue 60. This book in particular is a bunch of spotlight stuff. It's mostly put covering what he was up to when his ongoing series wasn't going on. A period of 1979 to 1980. We have World's Finest issues 256, 259, 261. DC Universe Presents number 16. Just Like America 173, 174. Detective Comics 490, 491, 494, and 495, along with Brave and Bold and 163. Yeah, it's a period of like 1 year worth of comic books. Now, the reason why I think they stopped here was because he joined the Outsiders like not long afterwards. Now, in the case of the first issue in here, it's a Green Arrow story. By the way, the stories here written by Denny O'Neil, Jerry Conway, Jan DeMatteis, Mark Breedy, and Paul Cutbark. Artwork by Dick Dillon, George Custer, Rich Buckler, Marshall Riders, Mike Nesser, Remo DeSalle, Joe Stanton, Pat Broderick, Rick Giordano, and Gerard Fulton. The cover art, this cover here, this is Jim Apato's artwork. Yeah, it's like Jim Aparo with Alan Capriccio. Now, the first issue is simply put this is from issue 256, and this is basically 60 pages, and look at the price tag, $1 for a 70-page comic book. Yep. Now, most of it, this is a Green Arrow story told by Daniel O'Neil, of course, Now, this is mostly put Green Arrow's first encounter with him, and you could say this is basically a backdoor pilot to Black Lightning's brief feature for the book, where basically taking on criminal, and of course they agree to work together. And then the very next issue is all by him, and this of course still with that with Denny O'Neil. I think then of course he works with Tobias Whale. Yeah, that's mostly what this issue is. He worked with Tobias Whale for a story. Actually, even works there for a couple issues. He works him for a couple issues, take down some from his past. And then the very next issue is, more Danny O'Neil stuff. Where it's like trying to take a hostage situation. That's most what it is. And then we have where we go to a circus. Yep. We go to a circus. And then we have the team up with Superman in DC Versus number 16. Which, this one's also by Danny O'Neil. Interesting the fact he writes this one. It's a great team story. And then we have Just Like America 173, 174. This two-part is not done by Danny O'Neill. This is done by Jerry Conway during one of his many, many runs he had for Just Like America Volume 1. He actually wrote the highest number of issues, and it was on this book the longest of any person wrote this book. This two-parter is simply put, the Justice League America tried to recruit him to join Justice League. He would, of course, join Justice League, I believe in the 90s he would join Justice League. Yes, but at this point in time, he wanted to be solo. So here, basically, oh, by the way, the person who recruited him, you see the cover, is it Superman basically recruited him? That's actually a lie. The person who recommended him join the team was not Superman, but actually Green Arrow. Makes sense. And I like the fact that basically brought the fact when they first met. I think the two parts are actually really good. And it is surprising they included this issue in here, these two-parter. Because, Just Like America, he's just a guest star. It's a quick two-part appearance, but of course, it's really good. Alright, the next one right after this one is, after this two-parter wraps up, then move on to, let's see, after Just Like America, it's on to two issues of Detective Comics, which are Mark Berzito, and mostly put just him dealing with like this regular stuff here, just regular criminal stuff. It's a quick two-parter, and then move on to an issue of Brave and the Bold, because of course we gotta have a team with Batman for an issue. In issue 163. Fun fact about this issue: 47 issues after the issue came out, the book ended. He will return the book basically a few years after this one. Yep. So it's a quick team between him and Batman. Oh, by the way, would Danny O'Neill write this issue, you might ask? Okay. The answer to the question, did Danny O'Neill write Batman and Bold? No, this actually was Paul Cuthbert. Yep. The only issue he would write for the character. Yep, that I can think of. After that, then he returned to the comics for like 2 issues. Which I'm like Jane the Mightiest, which is interesting. Yep. Most of it just was some social issues. And that's it. Just a brief, short story. Yep. It is interesting though they did this. And, well, he teams up here with Jimmy Olsen. The stuff in here is actually just really classic stuff here. Now you might be thinking, what happened after the Comics issue? Which was issue number 495. I believe DC decided to halt any appearances for the character. Let's see if I can find this here. Let's see. What was his next appearance for after this issue wrapped up? Because I think in the case of this book, I think that he mostly didn't do very much after this book wrapped, after these issues. No, not really. Because he was featured in Detective Comics ever again. No. Yeah. Now you might be thinking, what did he do after this book? Well, at one point he lost his powers. So he didn't do a lot afterwards. I mean, I think like next time he was featured was actually when the Outsiders started up. Yep. In the final issue of Brave and the Bold. Though issue 1 basically would which came out 3 years after this one. But yeah, not much else to say about this book. It's just really good spotlight stuff for Black Lightning. It's interesting, though, he didn't do a lot after this book wrapped up, which is strange, to say the least. You probably would think, as big a character he is, he would do something if this book wrapped up. But no, just these handful of spotlight appearances. It's like DC didn't have much to do with the character. Yeah, it's like they didn't have much to do with him at all. Not really, no. It's mostly just a guest appearance before he basically showed up in the pages of The Outsiders. So next time you probably see him after this book wraps up would be in, well, when he forms the Outsiders with Batman. Yep, but damn good book. Okay, so, by the way, I'm going to give the book a 9.5 out of 10. It's good, but not as good as his previous issues. Yep. Now you might be thinking, okay, because I read this book, how many more books left to go for Black Lightning? Honestly, there's like 2 left. There's actually a book that collects this entire second volume for the series. And you're thinking, really? Yes, really. There is a trade that collects that. Excuse me. And, and of course, also there's Code Dead Hands. Yeah, it's basically about a couple books left to go for him, and that's pretty much it. But yeah, not much else to say about this book. These 2 books. Okay, so that's the episode review. Next up is going to be The Fruit Revolution. Okay, next video. Bye.